Good afternoon. The regular meeting for the Turnbull Creek Land Preservation Committee will now come to order this Monday, September 15th at 3 p.m. And please join me in silencing all of our phones, and I'll call roll. Member Ingalls.
Present.
Member Rotovich.
Present.
Member Warner.
Present.
And we have an excused absence for Vice Chair Weston and Chair Athern. So at this time, because our chair and vice chair are not available to attend, we would like to nominate a chair for this meeting.
I nominate Mr. Warner.
I second that.
Okay, and I'm gonna call roll. Member Ingalls,
Present.
would you like to, yes or no, to nominate Mr. Warner as
Yes.
chair? Yes. Member Robich
Yes.
and Member Warner.
Yes.
Awesome. Now I'll hand the rest of the meeting over to you. You should have an agenda in front of you. And our board manager is here, Assistant City Manager Ron Nybert. And we'll begin.
So your first step would be to go to item 2 and request a motion to approve the minutes.
All right, so I request a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting we had.
I second that motion.
So you so move, and then we second. So we need a so move.
So moved.
And we need a second, please.
I'll second the motion.
Awesome. Okay, and I'll call roll. Member Ingalls, a yes or no to?
Present. Yes.
Member Robich
Yes.
and Member Warner.
Yes.
Next, you invite people to come up for public participation.
All right, at this point, we're at the public participation point. Do we have anybody that would like to speak? No?
Okay, next
Seeing
item.
nobody at this point, we will move to new business and discussion items. First item up for discussion is the new maps with updates of lands purchased under the current bond issue.
So no, I think Donna had a different thing in mind. She wanted to go over the map of the target area of where we were and that kind of ties into 4A and 4B. So we wanted to go over the map and do things. The other was to kind of prioritize other locations. Given that we don't have a full board, I would recommend that we table this to the next meeting,
Okay.
4A and 4B. So if you would, I would request that you make a motion to table items 4A and 4B to the next regularly scheduled meeting.
All right, at this point, I make a motion to table items 4A and 4B until the next meeting.
Okay, we have a motion. We need a second.
Second.
And I'm going to call roll. Member Rotovich?
Yes.
Yes. Member Ingalls
Yes.
and Member Warner.
Yes.
Perfect.
All right. At this point, our next item is the city's new job descriptions for a resilience manager, which,
Yeah, I've handed out the job description. In working with the city manager on his goal for this position, he's actually retitled the position to Natural Resources Manager. We'll go down and look at some of the key responsibilities that he'd like to do. Land acquisition for stormwater resiliency. So this is a little bit different than what we're doing. This is going to be geared toward acquiring lands that can be utilized for stormwater management. The next item is land acquisition for conservation property. So this person will take over the activities of managing this board and the activities of acquiring the conservation property. The reason for the two different separate responsibilities is that our conservation properties are solely acquired for conservation purposes. We cannot use them for anything other than to leave them in their natural state, notwithstanding invasive species and management of them. But we can't use them for stormwater. We can't make improvements on them for parks or recreational activity. They're solely to sit there in perpetuity in their natural state. So that's the reason of that. The second item, or third item, excuse me, land management and stewardship. that goes along with some of the issues. Okay, we have these new conservation lands. How are we going to manage them? How are we going to take care of them? So what I would like to do, and it'll kind of piggyback onto some of the grant requests, and I'll cover that a little later. What I'd like to do at the next meeting is bring in a representative from the Farmton Corporation. I don't know if you're familiar with Farmton.
Yes.
They're the company that's associated with Deering Park, and they have acquired thousands and thousands of acres of conservation land. And I'd like, before we proceed with any conservation efforts or planning from this board on our properties, is to have a presentation by this representative from the Farmton Group to show you what their efforts are. So if that's acceptable to the group, I'd like to do that at the next meeting. So moving on, environmental coordination and project support. So any projects that we do in conjunction with the conservation activities or other activities related to stormwater resiliencies, this person will coordinate those projects and activities. So that's the key items of this position. We've actually have started advertising for this position and would like to have somebody here by the first of the year.
Fantastic. I think it's going to be a great position.
Okay. Okay, now 5, the committee comments. If any members of the committee would have any comments that they would like to make.
Anybody? The only thing I wanted to say is that I have been working on a fire management, starting up the groundwork for a fire management program for some of our lands, which has been reaching out to State Division of Forestry and county fire departments.
Okay.
So that's all still in the works. Nothing has really been set up yet, but I've started the legwork for it.
Okay. Yeah, and at that point, you're working on that. Once we get the permanent position in place, that's something you can make a presentation on your work. Turn those efforts over to the new individual to start moving forward on those as part of an overall conservation plan for the properties. Yeah.
Sounds great.
Okay, item 6, staff reports. Follow up on appraisal requests from last meeting. So we had 4 properties that we were working on. 2 were the properties that were south of Page Avenue, 25 acres, right behind the Publix Plaza. Those properties have been purchased. We closed on them last week, and so they're ours to keep in perpetuity. So yeah.
What is the total? What is the total of the acreage required?
About 25 acres on those
Total,
3
yeah.
parts. On those 3 parts.
They were the
Overall.
yeah, they were the ones behind Publix, or there was just one parcel. I can't remember.
Well, there was 3. The 3 by Publix there that we just closed on were 25 acres. Yeah.
And then where was the other parcel?
Well, there was 3 total.
Oh, 3 others.
3 total. That were a total of 25 acres. 2 different corporations, same people involved. They just had the properties under 2 different corporations. So we had 2 separate closings. The total sale price of the properties were about $1.1 million. So in that stead, we are, for all intents and purposes, got a couple $100,000 left from the original bond issue. At its recent budget meeting, the City Commission authorized the issuance of the additional $5.1 million in authorized bond funds for land acquisitions. Have proposed raising the millage rate to accommodate that new debt. So hopefully by the first of the year, we'll have additional cash in place to start incurring more purchases. Now, it doesn't mean between now and January that we're stopping. We have the ability to loan money from our general fund to the Turnbull fund on a short-term basis to close on properties. And then once those bond proceeds come in, then we can transfer those amounts back to the general fund. So our intent is still to keep going. which goes us with these other two parcels that we've been working on. These are owned by the same family interest. One is on Route 44. That's the one with the donut hole in the middle. And the other is on Jungle Road. I have two good clean appraisals on the one on Jungle Road. The average of that is about $350,000. It's about 5 acres. The other is, we're having some problems with because I've got conflicting legal descriptions and boundaries from the appraiser, so I'm trying to work that through from it. And if you see that, you see the picture there, the red property, and it's got a donut hole in the middle. So apparently at some point in time, the owners of that property deeded that section of the property to the state of Florida. And the state of Florida is now utilizing that as a retention pond for Route 44. So there's some discrepancies between the legal descriptions that we're trying to work out. Hopefully we can get those cleared up in the next month or so, and then make a decision on whether to go to the owner with an offer for both properties or just the one.
Okay. They've done a great job on that canal there.
Yeah,
Have you seen it lately? Yeah.
yeah, they did wonderful work, and hopefully we won't have to use it, at least this year.
Yeah. Do we know the progress on the dredge at the bridge?
Yeah, we have some meetings set up with the Corps of Engineers, the county, the railroad is the key player there. So we have some meetings set up with them to try to coordinate and get that moving. But with the railroad involved, it's complicated at best.
If it helps, a friend of mine was involved with doing the same project on Spruce Creek.
Okay.
And he had contacts with the railroad, he's an attorney. And he said that they were great, very easy to deal with. He was very successful with it. He has offered to help us with
Okay,
whatever.
yeah, if you want to just email me his name.
Sure.
I'll give it to our staff that's working on that.
Okay.
Okay, then item 6B was follow-up on grant requests from the previous meetings. Now, there's been 2 grants that were talked about us applying for. One is an invasive species grant, and that's to remove invasive species on our properties. The problem that we have right now is we have no monies that were earmarked for manage these lands. So any grant that's out there certainly requires a match. So at this point in time, we don't have any match to meet that requirement until we get the new person on board and we see how we can do that. Secondly, rather than just applying for a grant that's going to address one component of the land management plan, I would recommend that this program is always there, the invasive species grant. So this isn't just an isolated program that's here for a short time and gone. At this point, it's a program that's been ongoing for years. We anticipate it to continue moving forward. But my recommendation in the city was I took the recommendation of this board is to apply for 2 grants and express my concerns about the logistics and issues related to it. And the city manager agreed with my recommendation. We hold off on this grant until we develop an overall management plan. The other grant program was a fish access grant program. And basically the grant program is to create passageways under roadways for certain types of fish. For the most part, I can't remember the scientific name of it, but basically it's fish species that live in salt water and migrate into fresh water to spawn and then go back to the salt water. The one that comes to most people's mind are salmon. The problem is at this point in time, we don't have any known species in this area of Florida that meets that definition of fish. So we don't meet the basic guideline and requirement of the grant program to apply for it because there's no fish certainly there's fish that would utilize it by moving better, but there's none that meet the specific guidelines of the program. The other issue is that any work that we do under the road is going to have an effect on our stormwater management. And before we just blindly go in and put in a 24-inch pipe under Route 44, Jungle Road, any other roads between the canals and the bay, that let's do a little engineering first, because right now we're in the midst of we're starting phase 2 of the citywide stormwater management program. Phase 1 was a program that was basically a stormwater asset report. Basically, it looked at all of our assets. It was kind of like a SWOT analysis of the city's stormwater situation. Where are we? What do we have? Where are our problem areas? That report's been completed, and now we're getting ready to award a contract next month for the second phase of the stormwater plan, which is to actually come up and devise projects that will address stormwater issues in the city. So we have some concerns, not only on the fish issue, but on this grant, but we don't know what these pipes would be. I don't want to go in there with 2 projects under these roadways. One that will address the fish. We may run out of space. You know, there's limited space sometimes to do things. So let's do a project that may be able to accommodate. If we can work around the fish issue, which I don't think we can. I've spent a good amount of time researching it. We really don't have any species of fish, but I'll continue begging to see if we can. But then we can utilize, if we can utilize that program to, one, not only address the fish migration, but then to address the stormwater management in a pipe that's sized specifically to address the stormwater needs of that area. So that's the reasons why we haven't really moved forward on those 2 grants on those projects.
Who is the fish grant through?
U.S. Fish and Wildlife.
It is, okay.
Yeah.
Because I've researched that same grant,
Yeah.
because of the issues of the bridge and mammal species trapped on the other side. And that-
Correct.
So,
But I've looked at previous recipients of this grant. For the most part, 95% of the entities that received this grant are tribes.
yes, 100%.
Yeah, so.
That's where I hit a brick wall.
Yeah, so, yeah, we have no salmon, we have no sturgeon. I guess I can make an argument, maybe snook, because snook,
Yeah.
but snook, they don't specifically, snook will breed in saltwater.
And I don't know how much it works in, but I know triple tail come into the bay
Mm-hmm.
and spawn in there. Same thing with jewfish. We have them coming up in there. I was trying to think of other species, juvenile tarpon and that kind of a thing. And they migrate. I don't know.
Yeah, but they don't go from the bay into the canals and creek systems, into those freshwater. That's what it has to be.
I don't know
To
whether they
breed.
specifically
Sir?
breed.
Just to breed, though.
To
You're
breed,
talking
just to
breeding.
breed.
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't just normal
Right.
patterns of them following the salinity. I mean, I had a conversation this weekend about fishing, and the guy was like, well, 2 weeks ago it was on fire, and this week it's terrible. I said, because the fish are very sensitive to the salinity of the water. And we've had so much rain recently that the salinity of the river out here is different than what it was 2 weeks ago, and it may be at a level that they're not comfortable with. So they move, like they follow thermal climbs of temperature, they follow salinity levels of the water that they're in, that they're more
I'll go
comfortable
on
with.
Turnbull Creek from Gar back to Snook and Mullet too.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
When he gets that fresh.
yeah, so it depends on a lot of factors. But that's a report on the 2 grants that we had previously talked about. We'll continue to look for other grant programs to aid in our conservation. I mean, certainly, once we get to the point of developing a management plan, that we'll proceed, and one, looking at a management plan, then seeking out programs that would be appropriate to meet those goals and objectives.
Great.
Other than that, that's all I have today.
Okay. Anything? Anything else?
Let's see, just wanted to let you know officially that this is my last day as a committee
Okay.
member. after about 5.5 years, I figured that was recommended by Jake Sachs. So long
Okay.
ago it was, during his first term. So pleased to settle into the committee for a few years and to work closely with the city staff as well as the volunteers and the community at large and other city staff, our recording angel.
In my temporary official position, I would like to thank you.
Our glory
Yes,
is
thank you.
fleeting.
Definitely, thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it. I know it's time and effort.
Thank you. It's a time of transition,
Yeah.
with a new position every year.
Good.
Be advising that person, whoever it is that comes in, probably more closely.
It's fantastic.
And probably more time identifying grant sources too. It probably might be some of the future of this committee, I would think.
All right. Well, I move to adjourn.
I second.